So, you're wondering how to satisfy a woman in bed. First of all, good on you. In a world where too many men are too invested in their own pleasure to care about their partners, you're willing to put in the work and effort to ensure she discovers new levels of pleasure in her intimate moments with you. Clearly, your woman means the world to you and you want to show her that. What better way to make her feel special than by pampering her sexual desires? 15 ways to satisfy a woman every time you have sex. Good sex is mostly teamwork. The key to figuring out how to satisfy a woman in bed is to be mindful of this fact at all times. Yes, sex may be one of the basic human needs, but the experience can become so much more enjoyable and wholesome if you approach it from the perspective of making love to a woman. Men often overlook the importance of foreplay and hurry the act without realizing it's integral to pleasure a woman sexually. Just because you are all charged up does one. Begin with a kiss. One of the most important foreplay tips and techniques is to lead with a kiss and let things progress from there. Don't just limit yourself to kissing her on the lips or even French kisses. Most women love to be kissed on the neck, breasts, and other erogenous zones such as the inner thighs, shoulders, or even toes. These erogenous zones may differ for every woman, so we'll need to work your way around her body to see what really gets your partner going. You can pleasure a girl sexually by planting kisses all over her body. If you're looking for foreplay tips to make sex better, make sure this one is at the top of your list. Yes, the best way to satisfy a woman in bed can be as simple as kissing her at the right place and with the right intensity. 2. Extended foreplay will do wonders when you pleasure your woman. If you're wondering how to make your wife go crazy in bed or how to stimulate your wife sexually or your girlfriend partner, remember good foreplay is your best ally. When you pleasure a woman, patience and build-up are key. Women are blessed with wonderful bodies. There is much scope for exploring. Remember the 7-point formula that Monica shares with Chandler and Friends to help him crack the code of satisfying his then-girlfriend Kathy? That's exactly what you should aim for as well. Instead of keeping it short and rushed, do the 1 to 7 dance, mix it up, prolong it, and take your time to get her all riled up. In short, you need to master the art of foreplay to arouse her. Take time before you penetrate her and this will work like magic. While you're at it, why not add a little role-playing to the mix to take things up a notch? You could order sexy lingerie for her or get yourselves both fun and exciting costumes that can heighten the excitement and make your act really last. 3. Be a gentleman in bed. How to satisfy a woman in bed, you ask? Well, we have one word for you: consent. No matter what stage of the relationship you're in, never overlook the importance of informed and enthusiastic consent. Understand the difference between passion and abuse. Do not cross the line and hurt her sentiments. When you're making love to a woman, the experience should be hot, passionate, and pleasurable for both of you and not turn violent at any point. The best way to ensure her comfort is by seeking her consent and having healthy sexual boundaries in place. If your partner is uncomfortable at any point, hit pause immediately. No means no. The simplest answer to how to make sex better for her is to ask her what she likes or if she is enjoying what you're doing, read her body language cues, and follow her lead rather than just presuming that you know your way around her body and are showing her the time of her life. Your partner needs to feel safe with you to be able to truly let her guard down and enjoy the experience. 4. Dirty talk to spice up your sex life. The key to figuring out how to pleasure a woman sexually is to stimulate her mind and not just her body. If you want to satisfy a woman in bed, try your hand at some dirty talking. However, here too, be mindful and respectful of consent and sexual boundaries. Don't go so overboard that she feels objectified and disrespected. Instead, talk to her about what you like about her, how you get turned on looking at her naked, what you'd like to do to her, and so forth. You can even please your woman with dirty dancing and give your regular sex a whole new start. This lends a refreshing appeal to sex and it feels like the first time. The idea is to make her happy in bed. Being desired sexually is quite flattering, and making her feel that she is desired and wanted is the key to satisfying a woman. 5. How to pleasure a girl sexually. Whisper sweet nothings. Remember what we said about the importance of knowing how to satisfy a woman emotionally to be able to connect with her sexually. One way of making sure that her emotional needs are met in your most intimate moments is to whisper sweet nothings to make her feel safe, secure, and loved. As you nibble on her ear, say something seductive. As you kiss her lips, surprise her with some sexy lines. Talk about her sexual fantasies and turn her on. While you're at it, maintain eye contact with her. This will arouse her to no end. The art of seduction entails a lot more than hitting the right pressure points for female pleasure. The real seduction begins with the mind and can often start outside the bedroom. If you want to blow her mind away with your moves, it may be time to start thinking out of the box. 6. Go down on her to pleasure your woman having spent a decent amount of time on foreplay. Try adding oral sex in the mix to surprise her. This is far more enjoyable for her than even penetrative sex. There are many tips to orally stimulate a woman during sex, and it is seen as the best way to please her. Take some inspiration from 50 Shades of Grey. Lick her, bite her, play with her, grab her, so many things to do. Just the way a spontaneous BJ can really turn the heat on for you. Giving her head when she least expects it can make her reach pinnacles of pleasure you haven't seen her scale before. And once again, the key is to take your time and not make it rushed. Do it right, and you'd never have to wonder how to satisfy your girl in bed. 7. Please your woman by teasing and licking her, play with her body and run your hands over it. That's one of the simplest answers to how to satisfy a woman in bed. Caress her and tickle her in a few spots. Massage her breasts or stimulate her down there. Don't forget to make good use of your tongue to tease her. A little bit of licking will do wonders, and your woman will respond beautifully to these moves. Softly bite the folds of her skin and watch her moan with pleasure. Hitting these pleasure points for female orgasm will instantly take the heat up several notches, leading to mind-blowing sex. Besides, there are several fun products and toys that can heighten the fun of exploring her body with your tongue. For instance, there is something called flavored kissing dust that you can sprinkle all over her body and lick off, making every pore in her body come alive with excitement. 8. Go for a quickie. By now, you'd have guessed that there is no one answer to how to please a woman sexually. To be able to truly fire up the sexual connection, you have to be willing to try different ways and different types of approaches to sex. It is not about going full throttle at all times. The element of surprise is superb when you're aiming to pleasure a girl sexually. Catching her unawares and in unlikely places can not only bring you both instant gratification, but also lead to an unbelievably steamy session later. Maybe she could be doing a chore when you kiss her passionately. Things escalate in a flash and you'd have her panting and asking for more. One of the things women need for a happy and healthy sex life is a feeling of being desired and seeing their partner hunger for them and never get enough of them. Nothing conveys all of this better than a quickie that says, "I've got to have you here and now." Of course, even though the intent here is to express your passion and desire, make sure you don't disregard her consent in the process. 9. Dress well and smell good to please your woman. Hygiene matters when setting the tone for good sex. Before heading to bed, take a shower, brush your teeth, and wear a soft perfume. Make sure that bodily and pubic hair is all removed or trimmed. Pay attention to your undergarments. Poor personal hygiene can be an instant put-off, so don't get complacent on this front, no matter how new or old the relationship is. Such mistakes in bed can undo any progress you may have made in learning new tricks and tips to pleasure her. Often, spouses and partners in long-term relationships become so used to each other that they stop putting in the effort to impress and seduce each other. This complacency in a relationship is what leads so many men to wonder, how do I figure out how to sexually satisfy my wife-girlfriend? 10. Ask her what she likes. Want to figure out how to arouse your wife-girlfriend partner? Simply ask her. Instead of imposing your moves, let her tell you what makes her come alive with passion and desire. Place her needs and desires above yours. Give importance to what she prefers and how she prefers it. Being sexually generous is really essential in a relationship. This will help your woman shed her inhibitions and also answer your basic questions on how to fully satisfy a woman in bed. One of the tricks to satisfying a woman could be letting her take control. Tell her that she is in charge and you're just going to follow her lead. Ask her to tell you where she wants you to be or what she wants you to do with her words and/or actions. As she takes on a dominant role in sex, not only will you know what it is that she enjoys the most, but it will also help her shed her inhibitions and embrace her sexual desires. 11. Try making out at different places. Don't restrict yourself to the bedroom. Explore other locations in the house like the kitchen, study, or even the bathroom. You may even try outdoor sex to experience that rush of adrenaline. It will be a refreshing change of pace and locale. A little sexual adventure keeps things feisty in the relationship. If things have becomes a little predictable and monotonous in the bedroom and you're wondering how to make sex better for her, perhaps consider taking a short sexcation. Find a nice hotel or resort nearby, book a room, and get away from the weekend with nothing more than a change of clothes, some lingerie and sex toys, and experience your sex life come alive with passion. 12. How can I pleasure a woman? Use sex toys to spice up things. You might have mastered the art of making love, but if you want to be the king in the game, we suggest using sex toys. Using a vibrator can turn your woman on big time. It will only heighten the pleasure for women in bed. Are sex toys good for a relationship? We think they are. Apart from hardcore sex toys like vibrators and dildos, you can also try leather whips, interlocking foam foreplay mats, and nipple rings and clamps that you can use to heighten the pleasure. When used on the pressure points for female orgasm, these can elevate arousal in ways you couldn't have imagined. These foreplay tips and techniques can truly take your sexual connection to the next level. 13. Try using sensual food to satisfy a woman in bed. Contrary to popular perception, good sex isn't about discovering her G-spot or even knowing how to stroke a woman in bed. Experimenting and trying new things can turn on the heat far more than any amount of right technique does, because let's face it, there isn't any one right way to be sexually intimate with someone. In the interest of experimentation, throw some aphrodisiac foods into the mix. Keep a stock of chocolate sauce to turn on the heat. Instead of licking the sauce from a plate, try pouring it over her breasts and slowly lick it. Literally, nothing could be sexier than this. There are many dirty games you can play with food. Use fruit, whipped cream, honey, and even caramel for an unforgettable night of pleasure. 14. Love and romance win the day. Remember this tip to satisfy women in bed. A woman loves to be loved before you undress her for a full-on love-making session. Romance her and make her feel special before you start exploring her body. This will ensure that she is completely engrossed with you in bed. Work her hottest erogenous zones to make her orgasm. And after you're done having sex, stay in bed and cuddle her. Don't just roll over and fall asleep. 15. Bring out the fantasies to pleasure your woman. Ask her what her wildest fantasies are and try to fulfill them. This might make things sexier for the two of you as you turn those wild dreams into reality. This is a great way of tackling boredom in the relationship. Of course, you must agree to only the things you're completely comfortable with, otherwise it can do more harm than good. Bonus tip to satisfy a woman in bed, and the bonus but the most important tip is to make sure she orgasms every time you're intimate with her, multiple times if you can. Remember, the more, the better. As we already mentioned, women rarely orgasm through penetrative sex alone. To make sure she doesn't miss out on her share of the pleasure, either make her reach the big O before the intercourse or afterward. Do what you need to, but don't leave her high and dry. Here we come to the end of this long list of pro tips. We hope you've picked up a lot along the way and know all there is to know about how to satisfy a woman in bed. And we know you can hardly wait to try these out with your woman. Well, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and please her like never before. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe to Wellness Wise 110. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated on our latest health and wellness tips. And as always, take care of your mind, body, and soul. Until next time, stay well and stay wise.